Hello. In this clip, I want to look at the utilization matters idea. I'm going to go back in and just fix what we did with the interarrival times. I'm going to restore them to 90 minutes from 110 that we had with the psychology matters change, because I want to just emphasize that I'm returning to the base case every time. Once you're done with sort of these changes in isolation, you can certainly put together a composite set of proposals where, for example, you're pulling the ORs, you're slowing the arrival rate of patients. You may do some of the utilization matters changes that we're going to contemplate now, and maybe also do something with the variance. But you really want to analyze these in isolation to see where you're getting the best pickup. So we're back to our base case. And now I want to consider some utilization ideas. So the ones that I want to look at first, I'm going to do a sort of I'll just mention one possible idea. So the surgeons are clearly the bottlenecks, right? Because they've been showing up in red, color-coded as red, in pretty much all the simulations that we've done. So one of the questions I could ask is, what happens if we got like a 2% improvement in the average surgery time? Does that make a difference? And we could implement that by just going in. So exactly how you'd get this, you'd have to motivate. You could maybe look up, some journal articles. It could be some lean techniques. It could be, for example, standardizing the instrumentation. There could be, there is a wide variety of skills, skill levels that went into the data collection for Paul Koenig's paper with his co-authors. And so maybe some norming of the surgeries, maybe some robotics may bring, small improvements that, could total 2 minutes. So the way to change, and investigate that would just be to go into these surgery blocks here, instead of doing, 100, maybe doing 98. Right. And you'd say, all right, so that's just 2%, but it could be that, you're right on the cusp of getting the fifth or the sixth patient through your system. So I'll leave that to you to look at. So it's a possibility, but you'd have to motivate it, sort of in practical terms, and you'd have to change both, right? That's 100, so you'd also make that 98. One of the possibilities that I want to look at is, so notice what's happening here. There is a service, there is a sort of a sedation process, and that sedation process takes 25 minutes. So what I'm thinking about is, would it make a difference if we added a CRNA or an anesthesiology assistant to the anesthesia Pro A pool and Pro B pool? So what that maybe is going to maybe allow the hospital to do in each track would be to get sort of the next patient sedated while the surgeon is finishing up a patient. So instead of having, there be a wait possibly between finishing up and starting again, that 25 minutes could be recovered. So I want to investigate that. All I'm going to do there is I'm going to change this to a 2 and this to a 2. So we've got 2 people in 2 pros in the pool. The first one would be an anesthesiologist but maybe by law and or by hospital policy. But the second person conceivably could be a CRNA or an AA, depending on what policy and other considerations permit. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this one just to see what we're getting. Now we're going to be comparing again against the base case. And I'll do 2 runs again. You're going to have, face that same drama around the variabilities, and we're going to see that probably our flow times are going to blow back up to having maybe as much as an hour difference. But let's see how this goes. So again, we just run it out to 570, and I'm going to say go. All right, so it's 140 up to close to 3 hours. That's a little unusual. So I only have 1 anesthesiology pro. I can see there's a problem here. Let me go back and edit my file here. So I thought I plugged in 2 there. Apparently I didn't. See what I did, it was wrong. I think somehow it didn't take. Okay, so now it's 2. And this one should be 2. I wonder if I plugged a 2 in elsewhere. Just checking to make sure I've got everything. C's, oh wait, I plugged it in there, that's the problem. Okay. So we're gonna C's 1, but we have 2 available. I think I see where I made a mistake. Now just run this. These models are take quite a bit of steadfastness to get through. Attention to detail and steadfastness. Resilience. Okay, so those utilizations are maybe a little lower, but I'm only getting 4 and 3. Well, I'm getting 4 here as well. So that's a bit shocking. I added capacity and I only got 4 executions. So let's try one more run with this. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I got 5. And then it looks like this may be 3. Yeah, because I got all 5. And the times are 152 and 130. So you have to be a little careful with these bars. You can see there's actually 3 with very similar times here. Okay, interesting. So 152 and 130. And again, there's so much variation, you have to do multiple runs. Say 5 and make this one 4. Just any different number is fine. It's just the initial seed of the random number generators. So go. Okay, so we've got 5 again, 157, 160. So this is no good. And you can see the operating rooms are very heavily utilized now. Also coded red, but not as bad as the surgeon pools. Let's just have a look at this. So their operating rooms are running close to 70%, and the surgeons across the day about 75, 76%. So it's not clear that helped, but you'd have to do the full analysis with all the runs to make these conclusions. Okay, so that is the utilization matters innovation. The idea was that I was trying to tie them up a little bit less, and hopefully that was going to get some extra completions, but apparently not in this run at least. Looking for that 6th execution, 6th completion of surgery.